So certain sites that they have zero bot protection. So if at 10 o'clock I'll go on the site and it instantly says sold out, it's because the bot literally hit for 20 and 30 pairs. Give the girl the idea that I like you, I respect you, and maybe get their nails done and their toes done. What cap do you need to do? Four dudes come out the van and
Some bullet. Oh, yo,
four dudes come out the van and this guy has the gun in his pocket and he just basically waving at me.
So what got you into shoes? Like, what was the entry level into that?
All right, so I'm originally from London. My parents are from London. So what people don't understand is outside the American culture, shoes aren't like getting your first pair of J's is not like a thing outside of the American culture. Inside of it, it's a thing. So I'm going to school. I'm wearing just regular shoes, regular Nikes. Everyone's wearing Jordans. And during that time, my parents weren't paying 200 or 180 for some sneakers. So fast forward, I eventually got my first pair of J's. Shout out to my cousin. And then this is the story I tell everybody. I hit on the Yeezy supply, and I got the Pirate Black 350s.
Okay.
During that time, I was going for $1,000. I was a manager at Zaxby's. And one of my homeboys was like, yo, come to SneakerCon. And I'm like, what is SneakerCon? End up going in there. Soon as I walk in the door, I have the Pirate Black Yeezys like held like this. Some Indian guy, all gold chains, like 4 or 5 gold chains, gold rings. He said, how much? And I'm like, and then he was like 1,000. And I'm like, he's like, 2,000. I'm like, and then he ended up giving me $2,500 for that one.
How much did you pay for those?
It was retail. I hit
220.
Yeah.
Wow.
So once I saw that, I realized like, wow. Well, mind you, I'm 17, manager at Zaxby's. I'm making good money, and I wasn't paying bills at the time. But when I saw the flip in sneakers, I was like, nah, I got to get onto it. And then from then, that's how I jumped into it.
So how much sneaker knowledge did you have to get? Because obviously, like, you have to know, like, what shoes are going to resell for a good value. How much did it take you to study the game to, like, kind of figure out that niche, to know how to navigate that market?
Well, so to be completely transparent, I found once I sold that, I just typed in YouTube sneaker game, and I stumbled upon Unbreakable Kicks, stumbled upon Scoop 208, and then I just used to watch some of my friends that I used to go to school with. They had like Kobe 8 systems. One of my friends used to wear the Yeezys from Nike. So when Kanye was working with Nike, and I saw how those shot up, so I just researched. The good thing about our generation compared to other generations is we have YouTube. So
yeah,
it's not really an excuse. Any answer you need, like, oh, what is crypto? Oh, what is an NFT? You could type it in YouTube.
Yeah, figure it out. But the bad thing though is you could run across like pages that don't know what they're talking about.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
you be stuck in the high hill. Yeah. But anyway, so you found Unbreakable Kicks. So your first hit was on Yeezy Supply.
Yeah.
What was like? Did I know coming off that high, you're like, bro, I just made $220 or $2,200.
Yeah.
Right? I capped that. Going into like your next pair of shoes, sometimes you could get like a miss expectation of like, dang, I'm about to be rich tomorrow.
No, that's exactly what happened. And one thing about me, I've always been good with money, so I always saved. I was very, very frugal. But yes, 100%. Heading into next sneakers, not knowing, accidentally buying fakes or things like that's just normal. So it's a part of the game. So of course it slowed down. Every single shoe wasn't, this thousand. But honestly, I felt like that was just a blessing in disguise, because I think the next purchase I hit was on the sneakers app, which was the Black History Month Kevin Durant's. It was like a KD6, and they didn't sell for that much. So I just stayed consistent. And over time, you start learning things. You start learning what backdooring is. You start learning what a manager could do at Foot Locker and all that stuff. So that's what started happening.
How many managers you got on payroll?
I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Back in the day, when I was single, what I would do is I would like flirt with these female managers, take them out on dates, and then they would be like, "Yo, let me hold you a shoe," and they'll hold 2-3 shoes, bro. So
man is a thief.
say if you have 5 female managers, that's 10 pairs of shoes you just got. And you have to remember, recently Do you remember that kid that was using the Nike employee card?
His mom's, yeah.
Exactly. So before that, the managers were smooth. Like the rules, the negotiations, everything in Foot Locker was smooth. It's like if that was your man's or if you knew that woman, they could hook you up. Now it's totally different. Everything's raffled off and stuff like that.
So like taking managers out, did you have to pay like a cap on top of the shoe also?
That's why I purposely said dates. Is because like when you give the girl the idea that I like you, I respect you, and, you know, maybe get their nails done and their toes done, what cap do you need to do? So that's what happened, man. If I want to be completely honest, that's really what sparked me. Is like, because personally, I didn't have a car at 18, 19, so I wasn't able to drive to every single mall. I was getting picked up, and they would be like, yo, I got some leftover shadows or leftover this, and they would give it to me, and I'm like, bet.
That is so, and that's so one of the, because I know a lot of people they'll do deals with people inside the store. Like, I'll give you 25 on top of each shoe, depending on the release. If it's like something that got a little bit more popularity,
yeah, like $40, $50,
you know what I'm saying? But you was out here.
I ain't have it like that, guys. I did not have it like that. But one thing I did understand is that females like nice things, so that's what I try to do.
Hey, even exchanging the world, you know what I'm saying? My man was out here doing this thing. So, now, hitting on like Sneakers app or Yeezy Supply, especially like on a hype shoe, could be very hard. How do you navigate, you know what I'm saying, your customer clientele base and actually hitting on sneakers?
So, back then, it was just customers are gonna stay with you if you're consistent. That's just a fact. So I was not consistent. I did not have customers like that. I just had whatever I had, and then if it sell, usually I relied on sneaker events to sell all my shoes. Now I'm able to sell shoes during that time. So to fast forward is the bots, bro. That's what really
Got you a bot?
Yes, I got myself a bot, and the bot, nothing's guaranteed in life, but you just have a higher chance. Certain sites, not to go into depth, but certain sites are a smack, and then other sites are just like, maybe.
Now, when you say smack for the layman out there, what does that mean?
So certain sites that they have zero bot protection. So if at 10 o'clock I'll go on the site and it instantly says sold out, it's because the bot literally hit for 20 and 30 pairs. And now I got 20 and 30 pairs coming to my crib. So now I can sell to these customers. Whereas a couple years ago,
you are the reason.
Yes. Yeah, sadly, bro. Sadly, bro. That's the aim of the game, man. You know, even with like Telfair bags, bro. It's like, it's the aim of the game, man. It's the sad truth.
How did you go about getting a bot?
So basically, like you were saying, there's times where you have to remember it. During this time, I'm enjoying my job. At the same time, I'm like, can I live off of this? I don't know. So I'm thinking like, yo, how am I gonna hit? There's those times where people would stand. I know sometimes with you Snipe, you would get on the sneakers app and you're like, did I hit? And people really get depressed. Now, me personally, I've had moments where I'm sick to my stomach because I would see on StockX or GOAT to go from $160 to $1,000.
Yeah.
So I started learning. I was like, okay, you either beat them or join them. And manually, I wasn't able to beat them. So I took a little bit of investment money, what I saved, spoke to this dude, and he took computer science, and he just know how to bot. And that's what I did.
So somebody builds a bot for you?
Yeah, so basically what it is, they is web programming, and what they do, I forgot the word they use. Proxies. They use proxies. Yeah, and that's how they're able to computerize like, oh, this is a person. That's why they use the little caches, is like to see if you're a human. They make you click on certain pictures, all that. But not all websites have that. So if you pay attention to certain websites, you know what I'm talking about, and those are the websites that will allow you to get multiple sneakers.
So like when you use a bot, are you aiming for like certain sizes, or like does it just pick what's available?
Correct. So depending on what bot you have, you could choose all sizes or specific sizes. So here's a little cheat code. You never want to choose all sizes.
Why?
Because there's certain, when you understand the sneaker game, there's certain sizes that are not going to sell good. For example, if your bot hit on 20 pairs of 4Ys, which is a 4 youth, if I want to be completely honest, a lot of people don't wear a 4Y. mostly it's Hispanic girls that be wearing 4Ys.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
so 4Y, you want to stay away from that. Also, bots may pick up size 15 and 16s. How many people do you know wear size 15 and 16?
But the ones who do, they be paying bread
paying,
for their show.
Exactly. So I do have a customer that wears size 15. So, but the main sizes you learn in the sneaker community is size 9 through. It used to be size 9 through 10 and a half, but now it's size 9 through 12, and then 6Y and 7Y is the hot sellers.
Bro, I wear size 9.5, bro.
Yeah.
Luckily, I hit on the Jubilees, right?
Mm-hmm.
But every other shoe that I wanted, I could never hit.
Exactly.
Never.
Because that's the majority. The average height of a man is 5'10". The average shoe size of a man is size 9 to 9 to 10 and a half. So that's what it's always gone.
Do you ever like see your friends like trying to go for sneakers online and like just laugh at them like, ha, y'all should have had a bot, you know what I'm saying?
Nah, truth be told, that was me. That was me back then. So I don't even laugh. I'm just being transparent. I don't even laugh. I used to go through the same exact pain, but because I wanted to make it a business, I had to make a business decision.
So is a bot a easy thing to? Because you said you found somebody who did like computer science, right? If somebody were to go today and like try to find a bot, do you think like finding somebody to do it is easy? Is there like
no? And that's what people fail to realize. A bot, you lose a lot of money in the bot, like initial investment, because you have to understand the website. You have to understand what's going to hit. If you notice, most new apps like the Flex app or the Sneakers app, like for example, let's just say a pair of shoes come out, right? And usually on the Sneakers app, it will just say buy now. But next thing you know, as soon as it drops, it says draw open.
Yeah.
So now you thought that you was going to use your bot to do all the buy nows, but the reality is now it's a raffle base because it's a draw. So now you're using bot placement, which you're using your money, and then it don't hit.
Oh, so like you don't just buy a bot and that's all you pay for it?
No, bro. You better have a good credit card. You better have a good you better have good capital. You gotta have good capital, good credit card, and then certain sites they're very, very specific where if they notice that it's the same card or the same address, they're gonna decline your order. Yeah, it's deep, man. It's deep. This is free game for anyone that wants to jump into it, but like I said, it's very expensive. But once, like for example, Yeezy slides. Let me ask you, how much do you think a pair of Yeezy slides are?
Retail, they're like $90, right?
Okay, you see what you just said? Yeezy slides are $60. Have you not seen resellers sell them for $200, $250?
Yeah.
Exactly. So the point I'm making is most people don't even know the size, know the prices of the sneaker. But just imagine if that bot hits 30 pairs of Yeezy slides and then you sell them all for $200 each. That's 140 profit. So those are the days you get your money back. Now you're good. But the days where you don't hit at all, you just like most bots, they range from $4,000 to $8,000.
And that's like a one-time use.
If the person doesn't know how to use it correctly, and yeah, it could be a one-time use.
So like you're paying $4,000 for like 30 hits.
Nah, what if I'm gonna pay $4,000, the person that is running the bot has to understand how it works with the website.
Okay.
Yeah, with certain websites, like I said, they do bot protection, so that bot would be running great for 3-4 months, and the next thing you know, you have to get a new bot. So, but let's just say during that time, usually February, March, April, Jordan Brand doesn't drop super heat. They wait till winter, which is December, Christmas time, and then they wait till summertime and spring collection. So let's just say during your January, February, March, no heat drops. You just wasted $4,000 because you're not hitting anything.
Yeah.
So that's how that works.
So like shoes that like Travis Scott collabs, you can hit on those also?
Yes. Like I said, certain sites. Bro, don't you ever, and this is what used to very, very irritate me. So I don't hit on the sneakers app. I go on social media. A week later, you see this white kid, or you see this Asian kid, or you see some type of, usually it's not even the black kids. I'm not gonna say anything. Maybe it's just they have a bigger credit card, but you see them standing around a whole bunch of sneakers.
150 pair.
Okay.
Yeah, crazy.
So there you go. Like, why does he have 100 pairs of Travis Scott's?
Yeah. Yeah, true.
Like,
But see, I always thought like those kids were like the kid who was connected to Nike. I just assumed like all of them had like insider. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know people was
no, it's
hitting on bots like
guys.
that.
It's the bots, guys. You be seeing 200, 300 pairs of Yeezy slides, and you see that one white kid standing there like, it's the bots, guys.
That is it.
Yeah.
I see people try to get it out of the mud. Shout out Retro Rico. That's my guy.
Yeah, shout out
You
to
know
my
what I'm
boy.
saying?
Shout out to my boy.
He be on the
Yeah,
move.
every mall. And I used to do that in the early stages, but like I said, guys, I wasn't driving at 17, 18, 19. I wasn't driving during those times. So if you are privileged to drive enough, you could go. They use the phrase loop. So you start from this mall, you end up in this mall, you end up in this mall. Then throughout the day, you finish with 10, 12 pairs of sneakers. So shout out to them. But when you don't start with a car, or you're not tapped in, or you don't know the manager at this person, you're not able to do that.
So do you use bots for other items also?
Not like the Telfar Fair bags. I feel like it was a 3-month phase. But other than that, it's just really sneakers.
So how much are Telfair bags reselling for? Because they're the lowest one is like 75, right?
Yeah. Some people could sell it up to 250. The big bags, maybe 350, 400.
So the profit margin is nowhere close to like sneakers.
Now the profit margin is big. Honestly, we live like, depending on where you live, like we live in Atlanta, and shout out to the women in Atlanta. There's a lot of rich women in Atlanta. Georgia State produces a lot of rich black women.
Yes.
And they just like spending money on materialistic things. So
Do you ever like look at like the people that, because you say that like materialistic,
Yeah.
have you ever like somebody agreed to a price and you just think like, I would never pay this for
all
that?
the time, man. There's like a couple of my clientels, shout out to them. They have it flowing. They have the money flowing. And sometimes the price would be 300 on StockX and they'll pay 400. And I'm like, all right, appreciate you.
Yeah.
I personally I went through a phase where I'm like, and this is what happens with everybody. And this is what I tell people too. Just because you look at something, you're like, y'all never pay for that. If you have 10 million in your account, the circumstances change.
Yeah.
So what I would say is like, back then when shoes used to come out, I'm like, I would never spend 200 on this shit. Then it went to, I'll never spend 500 on this shit. Then it went to et cetera, et cetera. But then you start realizing, you start tracing back and realizing like, is it really worth it if I'm going to wear it one time or two times?
Yeah, I knew I started getting money when I started going to the movie theater. And I was like, I'll get some popcorn today. You know what I'm saying? That's when I knew I had some bread. But so what was your biggest like sale that you had? So clearly you had the one that you got for $225 retail and you resold for $2,500. But what was your biggest like profit, or was that it?
Nah. So like you said, shout out to my boy Retro Rico. My first time ever in Chicago, that man put me under his wing. We started looping, and it was during All-Star weekend, right before the pandemic, right after Kobe died. Rest in peace, Kobe, because that's the reason why I really went. I went there because in my head I was thinking I was going to meet Kobe. But anyway, All-Star weekend, a whole bunch of shoes came out. Off-White 5s came out. There was a pack. I forgot the name of the pack. But it was some Jordan 1s that ended up being the flight ship pack ended up being $2,500 for 2 pairs of shoes. There was so many shoes that came out. Fair God had some stuff. Joe Fresh Goods had some New Balances that I've held for 2 years now. Now they're at $1,000. So that weekend, running around with Rico, running around with Unbreakable and Sniper Jones, that was my biggest weekend ever in sneakers, and that's what made me kept doing it.
So like with that flow of clientele, obviously like you nodded to like having a girlfriend, right? And I know like there's other industries where people sell things, we'll just put it like that. And usually girls try to finagle their way into cheaper products or free products, you know what I'm saying? Does that ever happen to you?
If I want to be completely honest, no. I'm 100% a businessman, and I've always lived by don't mix business with emotions. So I'm the type of dude.
My God, you know what I'm saying? W theory right there.
Yeah, I'm the type of person that like, oh, this is the price. If you don't want to buy it, then it's okay. You can find someone else. You're not going to try and finesse me for a different price. But obviously, if it's a trade, like, oh, I got $1,000 sneaker. They have a MacBook. We could trade. But
Yeah.
trust me, I ain't touching nobody over shoes.
Yeah, facts.
It's crazy.
So, how often do you get into negotiations with people over what your price is?
Honestly, I base my price off of relationships. First couple of times, I'm gonna charge you what I would normally charge, but then I lower it because I'm not greedy. That's another issue in the sneaker community that I want to voice out. Sneaker community is very greedy,
Facts.
very greedy. There's no reason why if you got a shoe for 200 and you are charging 400 and the person said, "Oh, I can only pay 340." Why are you tripping over the $60? So that's the type of person I am.
Well, okay, I do agree with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But one time, you know what I'm saying, the guy, he sold other things,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I was talking to him about his ideology of his business
Mm-hmm.
because he was like a strict, like, this is my price all the time, right? And what he told me is he got in an argument with this dude, and the dude was like, bro, it's just $20.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, if it's just $20, then you pay it. So you get into that too, but I think it's good to like lower your, because you want your clientele to be happy.
It's relationship over
Yeah.
money every single time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in my head, just like you said, it's just $20. In my head, how I look at it is, okay, if I don't get the $20 from here, I'm gonna get it somewhere else.
Yeah.
That's just how I look at it.
And like that good experience that person has, because
That's-
word of mouth is more valuable than everything.
That's 100% facts, man. People really would like the phrase, what, spite your nose, cut your face to spite your nose or something like
Yeah.
that. People would do that over $20, $40, $50. Oh, I'm not moving. I'm $290 firm. Like, nah.
Have you ever, what was the biggest loss you ever took in a sneaker game?
Oh, nah. I've been scammed and I've been robbed before. When I first started, I was robbed at gun. I had no choice. Yeah, the story's kind of crazy.
Go ahead, tell us the
All right,
story, you know
all
what I'm saying?
So my first time ever, I just started driving. I think I was 20 years old. And this guy, I had a pair of my granddad. I was born in London. So my granddad, he has a couple connections. And he got me a pair of Balenciagas. I got the Balenciagas. And I only wore them a couple times. And I couldn't fit them no more. So this guy on OfferUp, y'all be safe and be careful on OfferUp. He was like, "Yo, bro, let me cop the Balenciagas. I got 1,000 for you," which I was super excited. I'm like, "I bet."
How much did they go for?
I think they were like maybe 500, but I wore them 3 times. And I showed on OfferUp, you show all the pictures. So the fact that I was getting 1,000 for one shoe, I was like, okay, bet. But I started realizing he was very like forceful, or he was pressing. Like he was like, "Yo, when can we meet? When can we meet?" Now, mind you, I don't have a car. I was using my mom's car, so I had to schedule around her. Finally got her car. I'm like, "Yo, we can meet today." This guy pulls up. Fast forward, we're at the gas station, and so he comes to the door, and I'm already there. So he pulls up, and he says, "Yo, only got 300 for you." And I was like,
Hold up. So this is a shoe that costs $500.
Yeah.
He offered 1,000 and said, "I got 300." Crazy.
He comes to the door. He said, "Yo, I only got 300 for you." And I'm like, "Well, nah, I'm not selling it." And he was like, "Yeah, you gonna sell it." And once I turned, I looked back. He was in like a van. 4 dudes come out the van, and
Or some bullet. Oh, yo.
4
nah,
dudes come
bro.
out the van, and this guy has the gun in his pocket, and he just basically waving at me. And I was like, all right. And I gave it to him. He actually still gave me the money, $300. He still gave it to me.
What?
So he still gave me the money, and I'm not gonna lie, I started shaking. They drove off. I head straight home, went in my room. I didn't tell my parents because they always told me that, "Yo, don't do sneaker meetups by yourself," all that extra
Yeah.
stuff. So I just started crying, and it gave me that drive to like want to go harder. So from that point on, that's when I took my business serious, and I do correct meetups, meet in the right perfect location and stuff like that.
Because that's how I actually started getting money. I started flipping iPhones on Craigslist.
Yeah.
So I used to have to meet up with people all the time. I don't think my parents even knew I did it. Well,
Yeah.
no, they did know I sold iPhones
Yeah.
because I was the reason they had iPhones, right?
Yeah.
But I used to flip like when the 3GS came out,
Mm-hmm.
I was flipping like 2s and 3s. And My parents had to take me downtown one time, but I made sure I always met up in like a Dave and Buster's.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Something like that, because you're not catching. And like one time, I remember it was like this. It was crazy. It was like an Asian family. The woman, it looked like a movie, like a Rush Hour movie, bro.
Okay.
She walked up. You know what I'm saying? It's like 4 dudes in suits for an iPhone.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So, bro, I waited like 30 minutes before I left Dave and Buster's. I was not trying to get caught slipping. But I know a couple people who have stories like that with like meetups gone wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So when that happened, it just made me open my eyes. Like, okay, now you got to be more safe. You got to pay attention. Because honestly, as a scammer, somebody that's going to rob you, they really show you, like, unless you're some elite 5-star scammer, they really show you in the messages, screen, or on a phone call that they're really about to scam you and finesse you.
Yeah.
They really show you if you pay attention to detail.
So what details would you tell people, like, look out for this?
So what I would say is anybody that is pressing. So for example, if I respond and be like, yo, I got the shoe for sale. He's like, yo, let me buy it. When can you meet up? What time? And they're sending you 10 messages in the first 5 minutes and stuff. Just be careful. Just pay attention to like the energy. Another example would be like timing. If you say, oh, I can't meet today, can we meet tomorrow or another day? And they're not fine with it. No, I need to meet right now. Then that's another thing you want to pay attention. So like I said, forwardness, being aggressive through text message is like a big sign.
Now you say you're from the UK, right?
Yeah, born in London.
What is the difference? Obviously, you said like buying Jordans isn't a thing over there, but like, what do you think the difference is in like scammer culture over there as opposed to, because obviously like America, like Second Amendment right, everybody got guns, you know what I'm saying? And over there is a little bit different. So have you like, because I know you were in like the UK not too long ago.
Yeah. I was there for like a month.
Did you sell like sneakers over there too?
Yeah, I sold a couple of sneakers there, but honestly, and this is just my experience. So my experience is not going to be able to explain everybody's, but it's just, I feel as though the culture over there is just more professional. People are used to getting money. People are used to, like, for example, anywhere you go where rich places, like poor people will be right there. That's just how society is set up. But for some strange reason, like the people here is just so hungry and aggressive. Whereas in UK, they could be hungry too, but I don't know. It's like they're more polite with it. So I didn't have any bad experiences, so I really can't even speak on that. I'll have to do more transactions so I can see it bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you even got into raffling your stuff off. What
Yeah.
made you go from like straight selling to like doing the raffles?
The first time I won something for like $10 or $20, it opened my eyes up. So, and what's funny is that when I did that, I won this at my job. Actually, they raffled off like an iPad, and they were like $10. This is about like 3 years ago, and I was like, wow. So what I started understanding is everybody doesn't want to pay $220, or some people don't want to pay retail. Some people don't want to pay resale. That doesn't mean you don't want to shoot. It's just you financially don't want to do it. So I just explain it as the same way you take a chance in life, you would take a chance for the shoe. The same way how you could go to the club and spend this amount of money for the experience, you could do that and have a chance to win something.
Yeah. I think the concept is good because like some people won't pay $200 for a shoe or $550 for, or what was the resale on play? Like $1,300 for a PlayStation, but I'll pay $10 for a chance to win it.
And that's what life is about, man, taking a chance. So some people, they look at it, yes, essentially it is gambling, but at the end of the day, life is a gamble, bro. You really don't know what's going to happen. And the next day you go to work, everything's smooth, you had a great day at work, and then next thing you know, the government shuts down, now you're not working.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So with the raffles, have you ever got like chargebacks? Like people pay and try to charge back?
Yes.
Request refund?
Yes. I had to change my cash out. This one guy went on a rampage because, believe it or not, there is a raffle community. There's a community for everything. There is a raffle community, so there is a group of people. Shout out to the West Coast, East Coast. There's a lot of people that raffle. And we watch each other's back, and this one dude, I guess he just started spending too much money and What he did, he just filed disputes and got all his money back. And one day I woke up and my Cash App, and the sad thing about Cash App, and Cash App if you're listening, please have a number to call. Please don't just rely on emails, because how Cash App is set up, if it's connected to your bank, you can have $0 in your Cash App and it will literally withdraw it
The money from your bank account.
That is sick. So y'all fix that, man. Y'all over here talking about $600 a month is going for the IRS. Y'all talking about y'all got Bitcoin on your app. Please have a phone number. Please have better customer service.
I remember one time somebody sent me some money for a thing that was going on.
Yeah.
And like they lost the money. They couldn't find it.
Really?
It was crazy. It was like $700. Yeah. So like we had to use screenshots and stuff to like try to figure out where the money was. I forgot what ended up eventually happening. Mm-hmm. But you know, it was a crazy time. Cash App, and everything was through email. I think we did get on the phone with them though. I'm pretty sure. Wow. We had to have spoken with them.
Like I said, the number is not smooth as like AT&T, or you just randomly call like UPS. Cash App, you got to find the number. Man.
So how much did he dispute to get back?
I think he ended, because if it's a chargeback is what you sent in. So I think he sent in like 220. And yeah, so.
What was the raffle for? Do you remember?
I think it was from the Union 4s that dropped. The off Norse, the black pair.
So what was the resale for that?
They go for, I think, 900 to 1,000 right now.
And you were raffling them off for how much?
$10 a spot. But like that's what I'm saying is like people don't know how to control themselves sometimes, and that's why I try to explain people. You know, just spend a little bit. Don't OD. He ended up sending $200, which would have been 20 spots.
Yeah.
So in your head, you're like, oh, I got a lot of spots. There's a high chance of me winning. And then when you don't win, you lose to somebody that only paid for one spot.
Yep.
You may feel a type of way.
It'd be tough because when I used to do the versus battles, I used to raffle off PlayStation.
Yeah. That was turned.
You know what I'm saying? So I had people charge back. I had people pay like $150. I had people. Have you ever had somebody like, hey, I'll just pay you this to rig it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. One thing about me, I've never ever rigged anything. There's a site called Wheel of Names. That's what we use, and yeah, it's all algorithm. Yep. It's impossible to rig that stuff. It's impossible to rig the Wheel of Names unless you're some coder, and I'm not no coder. It's impossible to rig it.
Yeah, it's very But I do want to say there are some YouTubers out there that be faking they raffles. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Y'all know who y'all are. And I try to tell them because like at the end of the day, your name is everything. Yeah. So once your name get on a list of doing some fraudulent stuff, it's there forever. It's never going away.
And that's what my parents always told me is like, no matter what shoes, clothes, cars, whatever you have, the most important thing is your name. Having a clean name will get you into doors that you could never imagine.